God almighty, what is going on around here? I mean, people are disgusted with what is happening here in Washington, and they have a right to be disgusted. Mr. Speaker, if we defeat the previous question, I will offer an amendment to the rule to bring up H.R. 7615, the Relief Act, to force the Trump administration to give back the money it illegally stole through its unconstitutional tariff scheme. Mr. Speaker, since the beginning of last year, President Trump has declared a series of bogus emergencies as pretext to pickpocket more than $165 billion from American consumers and businesses of all sizes, including small businesses, family-owned businesses, farmers, and everyday citizens. And in response, several small businesses sued the president, arguing that the president does not have the power to arbitrarily tax American businesses and consumers without an act of Congress. And last Friday, the Supreme Court finally ruled that a large portion of the president's tariffs are unconstitutional. And while, as Chief Justice Roberts wrote in his majority opinion, the power to impose tariffs is supposed to be controlled by Congress, Speaker Johnson and the vast majority of congressional Republicans have continued to rubber stamp President Trump's disastrous tariffs, even though they know that they're raising the prices of groceries, housing, and other everyday goods. In response to the court's decision, President Trump lashed out at the justices who ruled against him, even the ones he himself appointed, saying they are, quote, unpatriotic and disloyal to our Constitution, quote, swayed by foreign interests, and, quote, an embarrassment to their families, end quote. Who the hell speaks like this? What other president talked like this? It is shocking that anyone can defend these shameful words by this president. And Department of Justice lawyers in briefs filed during the case promised more than once to repay the tariffs if they lost. We have that in writing. I'm happy to share it with the gentleman and any of my Republican colleagues. Quote, if the tariffs imposed on plaintiffs during these appeals are ultimately held unlawful, then the government will issue refunds to plaintiffs, including any post-judgment interest that accrues, end quote. That's the Justice Department's own legal brief. Well, Mr. Speaker, the Trump administration lost. They lost big time. And now the president is trying hard to break yet another promise. And get this, when he was asked about the refunds, you know what the president said? He said, quote, we'll end up being in court for the next 5 years, end quote. Again, not trying to help average consumers or small businesses. Well, we're going to stay in court so you don't get anything. You don't get a refund. However, if Republicans were to join with Democrats to defeat the previous question, we will offer an up or down vote to require the Trump administration to pay out tariff refunds that he owes in the next 90 days. Voting with us is a vote to ensure that President Trump follows through on earlier promises to give back the stolen money. The main issue that Americans are struggling with is the affordability crisis. People cannot afford food. They cannot afford rent. They cannot afford utility bills and basics. And tariffs are one of the primary causes